Hello and welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts, and today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing with you a wonderful piece of news. I am so excited about this. And it's a jewellery making kit that I've worked and collaborated with Resin Colour on making, and it is available everywhere, and I will put the link to it down below, and it's a great little kit. So I love the artwork on it. Look at my little logo on there. So this is designed for anybody that is new to resin, that wants to give it a try, or anybody that wants to make resin jewellery, whether you're new to resin or not. And it's absolutely great value. So before I wax lyrical about it for too long, let's open it. So look what you're getting inside. So what comes inside is you get two little mixing cups. Okay, so they're nice and easy to use. You get the tape to use as the damming tape, a nice roll of that. You get some resins as well, a couple of stirring sticks, which I'll show you how to use. You get 4 mica powders, which are great value and really good quality mica powders, let me tell you, and a real honest colour. And these are my favourite colours, so that's why we've put them in there. I mean, we will be providing more mica powders available on the website as well. So we've got a gold, a blue, a black, and an amazing red. It doesn't go pink at all. It just comes out as an amazing red, which is really quite hard to find in mica powders. And they are very good quality mica powders. And you get 5 grams of each, which is the same as what you would get in one of these bottles. As you can see, 5 grams. But on top of that, you also get these open back bezels, and you get a lovely selection of open back bezels. We do separate them in the bags, so you've got these beautiful gold ones, and the thing is, they're not shallow bezels, which a lot of the cheaper bezels are really shallow, so you can't get much resin in them, and then it doesn't give you a great effect. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gold ones. You get 12 antique bronze. And you get 12 silver ones as well. So let me put all those in a pile just so you can see how much you get. And can you hear the quality of those? They are such good quality. And as I said, they're nice and deep as well, so you can get a really good resin finish. On top of that, you also get a little selection of wonderful, and I love these molds, and as you know, I've been using these quite a lot in my videos up recently as well, these individual pendant molds, because I love them. I think they're great. So you get 5 of those, and you also get a pair of gloves. And believe it or not, this kit will be delivered out free in the UK, and it comes in at £34.99, which is actually, if you were to buy all these bits individually, is a saving of about £9.49, and you're getting the resin as well. If you want to buy it from anywhere else in the world, they are available, and we will send it out to you using the most economical method that we can find to send it out to you. And that will all be described on the website. Oh, I'm so excited about this. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, especially if this is your first time resin, because all my videos are there to help and support and show you different techniques and experiments and things. And ring the little notification bell, so that way you won't miss out when I get future videos coming out. So I'm ready now to set up my open back bezels, ready to do a bit of a pour in. Now, I'm not going to use all of them because that would be pointless. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a couple of the antique bronze ones. I'm going to use a couple of the silver ones and a couple of the gold ones and get those ready. And I'm also going to use all of the little silicone molds. Now, I've got a little offcut of a silicone mat here that I'm going to use with the damming tape to show you how I do it. Sometimes I use wood and put it on wood, and sometimes I use a bit of silicone mat. It depends how many I'm doing, to be honest. And the dam tape is really, really easy to use. You just find the end of it and then you pull it across like so and pop your pieces on it. Now I'm going to do this while it's still on the roll, because I just find that that is the easiest way for me to do it. And then I'll open that up, and you get loads of this. There's so much in here as well. It's not a small roll. And then I'll do the same for this one. And then I'll just fold that over. You can see the little end, so it's no problem. And then I'll put that somewhere safe. Now, when you're using a silicone mat underneath, you've got a bit of kind of sponge to push it into. It's got a bit of give in it, which is what you don't get when you put it on a piece of board. But what you do need to ensure is that you really do push these down so that tape adheres to all of that area. Now, if you're having trouble pushing it down, then what I would suggest is you take something round and you just roll over them. I've got a little lolly stick here that is round, and I will just roll over these and try and push them down. Now, sometimes you do get a bit of leakage, and for instance on this one you will get possibly a bit of leakage because of the way the loop is formed on there, and it is actually lower than the actual bezel itself. So what I would suggest you do is you lift that up like so and push that in really quite firmly around those areas to prevent that leaking as best as possible. And then I will pop the other little molds on there. You're not restricted in this. I mean, you get these great mica powders, but if you've got other things laying around the house that you want to put in here, then that's fine. And also, I'm going to show you the amount of mica powder that you need to put in, because people think they need to put lots and lots of this in. And actually you don't. You only need a small amount. I'm going to go ahead and mix up my resin. Now, one of the other things, if you've not used resin before, it's really important to ensure that you use it in a well-ventilated area. So have the windows open, or be outside, or make sure that you've got a 3-micron mask on. The other thing is you must wear the gloves that are provided, or nitrile gloves that you've got, because resin is a chemical and you will get a rash if it gets on your skin as well. So always make sure that you're wearing safety gear before you use resin. I use resin every single day, and I'm always ensure that I'm safe, and so do so many other resin artists. We all want you to be safe. I'm going to be using all 4 colours in what I do today. And what I would suggest you do is, now I use either little tiny plastic shot glasses, or the other thing I do is I use these dessert pots that come with desserts. I keep all these, just stick them through the dishwasher or hand wash them, and I use them all the time. And I often wipe them out and reuse them and use them and use them and use them. And they're great for things with resin. I mean, I've got a whole column of them. I've got loads of different sorts. As you can see, I've got some that had jelly in it, because A is a little piggy. It's now time for me to mix up my resin, and it's really important whenever you're mixing up your resin to ensure that you are as accurate as you possibly can be with the measurements. Now, I'm mixing this up by volume, and when you're mixing this resin up by volume, you need to have equal amounts. So what I've done is I've drawn on these 2 cups exactly the same place. I'm pouring some water in there, in each of them. Then I'm adding 1 cup of water to there, so I know that in that full cup there is the exact amount of resin that I need in total. Putting another mark on it with a pen. And what I will do is I will pour that water out, ensure that I dry these plastic cups completely, because resin and water doesn't mix. And then what I've got left is I've got my 2 marks that I know I need to measure my resin out to, that will be as accurate as possible, as you can see here. So I'm going to use part A first, and I'm going to fill part A up to the line, the first line on this little cup. And there we go. So I'm at the right height now, as you can see. And then I will put the lid on. Always put the lid back on before you pour the next one, so you don't cross the lids over and then they get stuck on each bottle. Then I'm filling the part B up to the next line up, and I know I've now got equal amounts of part A and part B. And that's the great thing about these little cups. You can use them because there is ridges around there, so you know that you've got the exact amount. And it's really important as well, when you're mixing resin, not to beat it. It's not an egg, you're not making an omelette. Is to slowly mix it, making sure that you are scraping the sides and the bottom as you're mixing it, and mix it for the required time. I normally mix for about 4 to 4.5 minutes. Then I take the resin and decant it into some smaller pots before I add my mica powder. And the reason I do that is because if you've got a large volume of resin, the exothermic reaction which cures the resin is likely to trigger a lot quicker if it's in a deeper amount, so less amount. And as you can see there, when I put that mica powder in, I only put a very small amount in. You can always add more if you need to, and you can see that's a nice solid colour. Wipe your stick in between each use, and so you don't contaminate your bags, and close your bags because you don't want to waste your actual mica powder. Now, I've speeded this up. This is at 3 times the normal speed. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the stick. I am wiping it in between each go. And I'm using the stick to allow me to put in the molds exactly what I want and where. Now, be aware that whenever you're using resin, it will move around and blend into itself unless it's almost at that cured state when you're using it. But as a beginner, I would recommend that you just play around with it like this and get some really nice patterns and shapes, which you'll see at the end of this video what we achieve. So this one is, I'm doing a division first with the black, and then I'm going in with the gold into each of these corners, and then red into this corner. I will fill up a little bit more of the actual black as well to ensure that I've got enough space to continue adding some more resin. Then I'll pop in a little bit more gold, and then I'll pop in a little bit more red here. And that way, what I know is I've got a nice full mold, and I will get a great little effect when these have all started to merge into each other. It comes out very, very pretty. And the same for the bezels as well. This one I'm doing as a 2-tone one, so I'm using the blue and the black. You can use whichever combinations you want. It's really entirely up to you. Have as much fun with these as you possibly can. And you will get lots out of this as well. So don't worry about that. This one I'm stirring around because I want it to be quite patterned. And I will stick another colour, as in the gold, right in the middle. And you'll see that this will kind of star effect spread out. And the rest I will continue to fill up in similar sort of methods, where I'm adding different colours, or in one I think I just add just a plain colour so you can see what that looks like. So these are all filled now, and what I will do is I use a long necked lighter, pop any bubbles that have come up to the top because you want to try and get rid of those, and then I will cover it with the box or a similar box and let it cure for 24 hours. Well, these have all cured up nicely, and I'm really pleased, and I didn't get any leaks, which is very unlike me as well. And please don't be disheartened if you do get the odd leak, because it happens to us all. It really, really does. What I have got is some bits of resin dotted around because I'm not as careful as I should be. So the great thing is now, and the fun thing is, always when you peel the backing off, and it should let you know what they look like on both sides. Well, I'm absolutely loving that. And as I said, they are nice and deep. Now, what you can do is you can dome these. And I'm going to dome a couple in a moment just to show you how to dome. And I will use the same resin. And when you dome them, it gives a really, really nice effect on the side that you dome. And if you want to dome both sides, you can. All you need to do is dome one side, let it cure up, turn it over and dome the other side. But I tend to only ever dome one side, and I will dome this side, which is the side where when resin cures it does contract a little bit and goes a little bit concave. So let's get the rest off. This is the one I did in the solid colour, and I really like how that one's come out. I always like everything, I have to be honest. Now that would look like it had a little bit, tiny bit of leak that I hadn't noticed, but that's not a problem. All you need to do is you can pull that off, and it should just remove itself from the bezel using your nails, or if you're very careful, because the last thing you want to do is scratch it. If you're having trouble getting it off, you can just get the tip of a knife and pick it off, and then it will come off if you've got any bits there. So there was a tiny little leak there, but that was all there was. Oh, that one's come out nice. Oh, I love the heart. See, I do. I love them all. Everything that I ever do, I do love. Now, when you use this tape, it will give you more of a matte finish on the back. So if that's the side that you wish to dome to give it more of a glossy finish, then feel free. These are the ones that come out of the mould. Oh, that one's really pretty. So I'm very, very pleased with how all those have come out. And these moulds you use again, okay? You reuse these as many times as you can, because they eventually all silicone will go dull and it will dry out. But you can use them multiple times. So I'm not going to dome all of them, but I'll dome a few of them and show you how to dome with the resin. So I'm ready to dome these, and I've mixed the resin up exactly the same, and it is a nice thick jewellery resin, so it will dome really, really easy. Now I use a pipette because I have a tremor, and I find that I get a little bit more control, but you can do this using the sticks by pouring it on just as well. And what I do is I put a bit of resin in the middle of the ones that I want to dome, and allow that to spread out where it wants to spread out. And what you'll find is the surface tension of the resin will prevent it going over the edges. I then use my pipette to push into all the corners or any bits that aren't really covered with the resin, and then I go over it with my torch. Don't overload them because it will leak over the edge. But then what I'll do is I'll leave this to cure up for 24 hours. These are all finished now, and they're ready to have their findings put on them. And if you want to know how I do that, then I will link a video at the end which shows you exactly how to make up all your jewellery as well, and gives you all the bits. But look how beautiful they come out with now they're domed. I mean, you can really see the difference in the doming of the piece, and it really does give it just a lovely feel. The other side is also as beautiful, but obviously we've left that one a flat, but you could dome it if you wished. And the reason you can get such a great effect with these is because they are nice deep bezels, as opposed to a lot of the ones that you can get, the cheaper ones, that are half the depth. The colours are just beautifully and pearlescent, and both sides are looking excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make these up onto a few chains. Here's the ones from the molds where I've domed those, and again you can see the difference, but you don't have to. It's personal preference. I normally only dome one side, so that gives you the choice of having it that way or having it around that way. Well, these are all finished now, and I've put cords on some and I've put pinch bows on others, and I absolutely love how they've come out. And all that can be made so simply using this little kit, and much more as well. We're not restricted to just making this few. You'll be able to make lots more out of this kit with all the value that is in this kit that we're providing. So the great news is these kits are available now, and if you want to place an order for one of these kits, and the link for the kit is in the description below, and it's also in the title of this video. Everything that's made here can be made by anybody, and as you can see, they are all really beautiful. The kit is of great value, and it certainly is put together with a lot of love and a lot of thought as well for anybody wanting to make jewellery. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring my little bell so you get notifications when I bring out other videos and introduce other items that will be joining the kit. There'll be other kits coming along soon. Be sure to check out the video that's coming up at the end on how to make your jewellery pieces up. All the links to everything that I've used today are in the description below. Take care, enjoy your resin jewellery making kit. Bye.